Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Buddy Check with the Loon. Are you okay, buddy? Do you need to talk? Let's check. Okay, first, let's start with how we always start the Buddy Check. Before I do that, I have to apologize. I know this is the 24th and it's not the 22nd. It's been a busy week for me, and I'll explain later. But let's start with our serenity prayer. Okay, let's get this set up correctly. And we're going to go to the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as He did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that He will make all things right if I surrender to His will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with Him, however, in the next. Amen. Okay, now since we have gone through the serenity prayer, let's take a look at a few things that has occurred within the VA department since I focus here on Buddy Check on veterans. So this is what's happened. If you have made it through this month, you've noticed that your benefits have had an increase. That's in COLA, I believe in retirement, and especially in disability. I do have disability, so I do realize that there's been an increase in my disability. So adjust your budget accordingly. And don't forget, as you're adjusting your budget, for savings, um, maybe cash on hand, which is going to come into uh, view and fruition as we talk about the topic, which is a weather emergency, which we're going through. I'm going to touch on that in a few moments. Now, the next thing I want to touch on is the Trump administration declared 2025, which is this past year, the year for putting veterans first. And how does this show? How does this show for you? Let's take a look and see. Um, the backlog for disability requests has gone down 57%. So in 2025, the majority of veterans who put in for benefits across the board went down to 57%. That means you received a reply, which means that your life is not on hold if you are waiting for any one of the benefits that the VA provides for you. And if you have not received a request, don't lose hope, because that means that you're closer, much closer than you would have been previous years. Another thing is that VA has opened 25 new healthcare clinics, VA hospitals and clinics for locations that can't reach the main hospitals. There are 25 new healthcare facilities throughout the U.S. for you to reach, which is a big benefit. When I lived in Long Island, it was a huge issue because I either had to go almost to the tip, which, if you don't have a car as a veteran living on Long Island, was an issue, or you had to come out to the city, which was cost effective on traveling to the VA. So across the US, and you would have to take a look and you would have to research it yourself. 25 new healthcare clinics have been opened and available to you, whether they're pre-existing or brand new. It's a benefit. The partnership with urgent care is still there. You just have to go through the VA and get your card, and you're able to go to uh, something like urgent care, like what do we have here? We have Ultra, I think it's called. Different types of urgent cares that's in within the city limits. This is the one that I really liked the VA has done. The VA has permanently housed 51,936 homeless veterans. Homeless veterans that have been taken off the streets. You can't get better than that. Now, for 2026, we are 24 days into 2026. What is the VA doing? They have not stopped just because of 2025, just so you know. A complete overhaul of 1,300 plus VA medical facilities. This is including hospitals, and this is including uh, external healthcare facilities which work with the VA to extend their services to the veterans of armed services. Uh, the medical facilities to provide one standard of excellence for veterans. Basically, what I'm saying is, and I have to use New York as an example because this is where I am. We have two main VA within the vicinity of where I am. Actually, three, but I'm not sure about the third one, which is more upstate than within the metro area. We have, um, they're making it across the board where if you go to one, which for Long Island would be North Shore, or if you go to the one here in Manhattan, then you're going to get the same service. Your records are going to be the same across the board. There's not going to be, well, this is this place. I don't know if they have my records. I have to carry my records or I have to fill out extra paperwork. They're changing the format. So by the end of 2026, fingers crossed, you will be able to walk into any VA facility across the board and receive the same services, and they will have access to the same records as your primary VA hospital will. And as a veteran, this means a lot. Now, the next thing I want to share with you is a message from, well, before we get into that, if you are in crisis, if you're in crisis and you need someone to talk to, let's see about who you can talk to. You could reach out to the Veterans Crisis Care Line. Now, you could either call them, you could either text them, and you'll be able to speak to somebody 24/7. And they will be able to listen to you. And if you need advice, they'll be able to provide you advice. And I do believe it's been a few years since I personally used the service, that they'll be able to go ahead and set up an appointment with a VA professional for you. So, just so you know, that's there for you. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to share with you is a message from the Secretary of Veteran Services. Give me one moment. I had it up, but uh, computers are computers. Um, there we go. I'm gonna pop this out. I'm gonna share this tab. Okay. According, dear veterans, let me make sure that you're able to see this. I want to make sure that you're able to see. Perfect. All right. Dear veterans or beneficiary, on behalf of all Department of Veterans Affairs staff, thank you for choosing VA. It is an honor and a privilege to serve you. VA has made significant progress over the last year implementing our Veteran First strategy, easing access to care when and where you need it most. Patient safety, delivering high quality health, health outcomes, and providing best in class customer experience for all veterans and beneficiaries remain our top priorities. That includes maintaining the safe and well being of veterans, their families, caregivers, survivors, visitors, and dedicated staff. As a requirement of Public Law 116 315, the message served as an annual reminder of VA's continued commitment to ensure our medical facilities, staff offices, regional benefits offices, and the sacred grounds of our cemeteries are placed where all are welcome and treated with dignity and respect. Though through VA through VA's continues its longstanding adherence to anti-harassment and anti-sexual assault policies, laws, and programs, it takes all of us working together to maintain safe and welcoming environments for all. One way you can help is to practice the bystander intervention techniques described in this brochure, which he shares a link. These are practical techniques to enable you to feel confident in your ability to identify harassment or sexual assault, seek help, and prevent the situation from escalating. We understand that reporting harassment and sexual assault may feel uncomfortable, but I assure you, our trained staff stands ready to support and assist you throughout the process. If you or someone you know has been harassed or sexually assaulted at a VA facility, we ask that you tell a VA staff member you trust. Keyword there is trust. There is no wrong door for reporting harassment or a sexual assault. You may also submit a report by following the guidance found at www.gov/report harassment. Reporting not only helps VA better support victims, it enables us to more per, effectively, effectively prevent future incidents. Thank you for choosing VA as the place to receive your benefits and services. You are our mission, a responsibility we do not take lightly. We can view the Veteran Health Administration's sexual assault and harassment prevent, prevention policy here. Now you could view this copy and click on the links by going to the VA website itself to see these to view these. Now there is one more thing which is going to bring us to the main topic of today that I want to share with you. Let me just bring it up. And this is something that doesn't just affect VA veterans, but it is a very important item that's going on right now that everybody needs to know. But since I focus on veterans here, I feel that you guys need to know. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, you are aware that more than half of the U.S. is under an extreme winter weather advisory. We have here in front of you the VA's official post for this. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to later on hopefully put the link for this particular post in the description. So I'm going to try to remember to do this. We understand that your area may be impacted by extreme winter weather. Please know that the VA is here for you. Please see the helpful information below and stay safe. Due to conditions, we recommend you call your facility before driving to any appointment to confirm status. Okay? Meaning if you have an appointment with the VA during either today, which is the 24th, all the way to the Monday, which would be the 26th. Before you head out to your appointment, call the VA to make sure that they're not under emergency status and that your appointment is still going to be honored. We don't want you to risk your life traveling in um, questionable weather to get there only to find out your appointment cannot be honored. Now, they also suggest this is common knowledge, but in a panic mode, most people forget. So remember, in the event of an emergency during, during this time, please call 911. They will be able to get you emergency care faster than you trying to get to the VA or trying to get to your nearest hospital. If you need VA assistance for any reason, please call this number. It's 1-800 MYVA 411, which translates to 1-800 698 2411. Press 0 to speak to somebody immediately. For assistance regarding homeless, this is more important in urban areas like here in New York City or Chicago or any place like that. If you notice or if you see or you know of a veteran who is homeless in this weather that needs assistance getting out of the cold weather, please call 1-877-4AID-VET, which translates to 1-877-424-3838. Are you a veteran in crisis or concerned about anyone? Now, if you know a veteran that may need help, dial 988 and press 1 for the Veteran Crisis Hotline, which I showed to you earlier, so you could coordinate and get that veteran help. Okay? I'm going to try to remember to put this link because I do have additional information. But this is what you need to know to assist the veteran. This is life-threatening weather here, which is going to lead to the main thing. We are under a weather emergency. If you live in the South, they're expecting ice. More northern, we're expecting a huge, unusually large accumulation of snow coming our way with this weather. So you need to know how to prepare. Okay, I'm just going to, and I had my phone ready here. Now, currently in my area, now I live in New York City. I do not hide this fact. I let you guys know I live in New York City. And the weather here in New York City is literally 9 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the weather outside. We do not have weather lows like this. And if you step outside, because I could hear the wind as I'm doing this recording, if you step outside, it feels like -6 degrees. Okay, so this week, because everyone made a big deal about the weather being coming out and being very extreme for us, all right, and being a bad weather situation, what we have now is we have the situation where if you have to go out, everybody has spent the rest of the week while you're going out to work, and the weather was not as bad as it is today. And we have not had the it's overcast right now, but we have not had one flake try to come out of the sky. So you're doing last minute. During the week, you probably went out to work and or you were out and about. If you're retired and you're a veteran, you're stocking up your pantry, you were stocking up your house, you got the typical milk, butter, bread situation or snacks for kids. If you have to go out, and you're probably going to have to go out after I share this information with you, um, for emergency situations, for emergency items that you may have forgotten. We got the food. Everybody thinks food first. Thank God. God bless. This is the way you're supposed to go. If you have to go out, first thing, dress in layers. It is freezing out there. Wear your gloves. And I'm not talking about thin gloves. Wear your gloves that actually conceal the heat in your body. Okay? Wear your gloves. Uh, wear some type of headgear. Wear a hat. Um, be prepared. Dress in layers. Put the t-shirt on. Put the sweater on. Wear a nice coat if you have to. And this is something we try to avoid, especially if you live in an urban area. If you have a hoodie, put that hoodie underneath your winter jacket. It is -9, especially here in New York. I don't even know. I can't even think about further out west or up north because it's colder there. But dress in layers so you could stay warm and you don't freeze to death. Check your metro, your transit schedules. Check to see if your bus will still be running. This is from today to Monday. We can't predict what's going on yet because here in New York, the snow hasn't fallen. It's supposed to start tomorrow. Although the way the weather's feeling, it might even start tonight. Check your railways. If you are in New York City, and I'm assuming this goes for any place that has elevated metro services, expect them not to run. If that is your mode of transportation, expect them not to run. And I don't know why you would want to be in an elevated platform at this time. But look at alternate routes if you have to get to a place. Now, I know we've stocked up on food. If you don't have to go out and you feel that you're good, make it a day of cooking. Make it a day of either cooking food that you know your family requires that has minimal preparation should you have to turn to use it. What I'm saying, a lot of places within the United States is scheduled, and they're preparing for services to lose basically electricity. So you're going to lose light. And believe it or not, there are a lot of places, and I do live in one of them, that rely on electricity for even heat. So, did you think about those preparations? Did you think about the preparations as if you lose heat? What are you going to do? Have you searched for the nearest hotels in your area? Have you reached out to your family members? Have you reached out to the elderly that might not have the ability to prepare for this? Or even veterans that you know that don't know this is happening. And I know it sounds weird that people may not know what's coming down, but I remember um, one of my younger sisters had her birthday this week, and after her birthday, you don't ever want to ruin that day. I reached out because I reached out to my elderly mother, and I reached out to my sister, and I was like, "Are you prepared for the storm?" And her answer to me was, "What storm?" There are people out there who avoid the news and they don't know that the storm is coming. So reach out, talk to your neighbors, talk to your family members. My sister is not, that particular sister is not in the same state as me. And she's in the worst state that might be hit with this. And she didn't know it was coming. So go ahead, reach out to people. Are you prepared? And then you ask yourself, are you prepared? She went out and she got food. And the next thing I told her was, are you prepared if the power goes out? Let's start there. If your power goes out, do you have one alternate source of light? It's kind of late now to get an alternate source of communication, although there is, and we're going to touch on that right after I touch this. Do you have safe places to have candles? Do you have tea lights? I prefer tea lights over candles because tea lights are in their enclosure, and as long as you're not neglectful enough to put them where it could catch fire on a curtain or anything else in your home, they are one of the safest routes I would go to illuminate your home should power go out. So, do you have tea lights? These are things people have not bought yet. Now that I'm mentioning it, they might do a run. You could pick up tea lights. It's too late for Amazon. Amazon won't get it to you in time. So, where do you get tea lights? If you have a Walmart near you, you could pick it up at a Walmart. If you have a Home Depot, a Lowe's, a Costco, BJ's, Sam's Club, Target, even the mom and pop places that are near you that are, I'm going to date myself, like Woolworth, you could possibly get tea light. Sometimes, excuse me, your bodega, if they don't have tea lights, they have those enclosed glass candles, 7-day candles for you that you could purchase sometimes under $1, maybe under $2, depending on where you live. Stock up on those because if you lose power, I always go for the most dramatic way. Plan for it for a month. Although within the urban community is usually a week to 2 weeks. Okay? So let's look at that. If you have a candle, the next thing you need is somewhere to light it. Candle is as useful as the light you're able to ignite within it. If you're a veteran, you have one of these, whether you smoke or not. I'm a smoker, I have one of these. If you have one of these, do you have lighter fluid? I'm not talking about charcoal lighter fluid, Zippo lighter fluid, the fluid for the Zippo. If you don't, they carry them at your nearest corner store, they carry them at your nearest bodega. So if you want to stay local, you don't have a car, there you go. I always, if you guys follow me, you know I'm a prepper. So I always have those in stock. And I always have one extra can of lighter fluid. And I actually do have one at work just in case. Okay? If you don't have one of those, I know the next thing people think to do is get a lighter. Skip that. If you could find it, and if you have a bodega, you have a corner store, 9 times out of 10, if they sell cigarettes, they have matches. you want matches, and the matches are universal because they don't only help if you need to light your cigarette, um, or if you need to light a candle. They also help if you have gas stoves, and for some reason you need to ignite your pilot light. Be careful with that. I don't have a gas stove, so I don't know the instructions from that. But the internet is wonderful, and Google and YouTube is your friend on that. So if you could go buy a book of matches or one of those sets where they have several matches in there, you want matches. I actually have to give credit to Glenn Beck on this because as I was preparing for this live, I stumbled upon one of his recent, within the last 24 hours, post on YouTube, basically telling preppers one of the things we forget to do is get matches. So I want to share this knowledge that he bestowed on me to you. Grab matches. Now, water. If you lose power, 9 times out of 10, people are going to lose power. And it's funny because I was speaking to my significant other, and he was wondering why I was so up so early. And I was like, listen, the storm is coming. I didn't do my buddy check. I need to get this information out to any veterans that can hear it and share it with other veterans or their significant others or people who know veterans so they can get this information out because this storm is going to be unprecedented. I don't know how it's going to hit New York, but in the South, it's going to be catastrophic. They're already calculating, as I was watching that news talking about this throughout the week, they're talking about there will be loss of life. And as unsettling as that is, and as much as I don't like to hear that, it is true. If you're unprepared, if you're not ready, it will cost you or it may cost a loved one a life. So let's get on this, people. Share. Share the information. You don't have to necessarily share this video. I would appreciate it. But share the information you received from this to save a life. Because people's life, and I'm not being over dramatic, is on the line due to this storm coming up. So you have food. You have the what you think you're prepared for. Do you have water? One of the things I have to do after I do this recording is I'm going to go ahead and pick up some drinking water. I have drinking water, but the sewer system is electrical, so if the power goes out, I won't be able to flush my toilet. So guess what I'm doing? I am going to go ahead and I have empty containers from previous things that I've used to drink, and I am filling them up with water. Should I have to use the bathroom, which you're going to have to, especially if the power goes out and you have nothing else to do. You can't go out for a walk. That's almost suicidal if you're dealing with, at this point before snow, uh, 9 degrees Fahrenheit with the feeling of -6 degrees. You need to prepare. I'm filling up those waters so I could use that to dump down the toilet should you have to use it. Yes, this sounds like a TMI, but you know what? When it comes to life and death, TMI is past. We have to get past that. So I'm filling my gallon jugs with water. So you have to be prepared. I am going to spend the day cooking food that does not requires minimum heat. So another thing that happens is, let's say you do have heat, but for some reason you can't cook. You can't warm up your food. So this wonderful short, I wish I would have saved it, which was a brilliant idea. I believe I saved it on my X, and you can find me at the Loon 50 on X. But it was like someone took one of those aluminum pans, the deep ones that you would use to roast, like say turkey or something, and they filled it up. If you can't get the, I forgot what it's called, uh, what they use in catering halls to warm meals. If you can't use it, they took tea lights and they layered it on the bottom, and they put a grill, like a grill top, or a mesh rack. It was a grill rack. They put it on top of that, and they were even, and they showed it. They were even able to fry an egg. So something simple as that. Now, when dealing with lighting candles and dealing with fire, please use your best discernment, because we don't want you to catch your house on fire. We don't want you to catch where you are on fire. So, is that prepared? Worst case scenario, you lose heat, you lose power, and you basically cannot stay at your home. Check out the availability and how easy it is to access either your local hotel, the nearest hotel to you, or even reach out to your nearest family member and friends to see if they are prepared, and find out if you have a situation where your home becomes basically unlivable. And when I mean unlivable, I mean an ice box. Make preparations for an emergency evacuation to that location. We as ex soldiers are supposed to be prepared. Be prepared. Another thing that you can do is check your inventory, because I am speaking not in a situation where you could order these things. This is, you're not going to get anything you order from Amazon in time for this storm. So let's get past that delusion. You're going to have to use what you have. Do inventory on your blankets. Should something happen in the middle of the night where you're unable to evacuate immediately, have blankets available. Crocheted blankets, knitted blankets, down blankets if you're not allergic to it, which I am, that's why I don't have them. But any type of blankets that can help you stay warm until you are out of that window where you could reach out to somebody for help. Put it out. You're not having a dinner party. Put it out on your dinner table. Put it out where it's available. So, should that happen and you wake up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom and you realize, oh my God, I could see my breath in my house, and you realize there's no power, there's no heat, you could temporarily keep yourself warm by layering those blankets, but you need to have them available. And also, and I'm a big advocate for this, have a boogie out bag. Put your boogie out bag together now. The essentials, your medication that you may need, um, anything that is essential to you for your needs. Make sure if they can't go in the boogie out bag immediately, make sure if they have to be refrigerated, they're refrigerated. I know if you lose power, you open the refrigerator, you lose all your food. I understand that. But at this point, if you're looking at this, you've already made accommodations to go somewhere where you'll be able to function without what's in your refrigerator. Your refrigerator at this point would be a shelter in place situation, which if you lose power and the city or the location you are is immobile, is a shelter in place situation. If you have diabetic medication that requires refrigeration or any other type of medication, make sure they stay there and don't take them out until you are ready to leave the area or required to take them, and put them in your buggy out bag. I can't tell you what to put in your boogie out bag because every person and every situation is different. But have that bag ready. If you're going to sleep, as of tonight, have your clothes out. the clothes that you need to travel with. I know that sounds OCD-ish, but if you're in a panic and you wake up in the middle of the night and you have no electricity, no heat, and you need to leave, you're prepared. You're not in a panic. And panic is another thing that kills. We know this as ex-soldiers, but I think we need to remind ourselves because sometimes when you get into the civilian world, you get comfortable. Put those clothes out. Put out the boots. Have the layers of socks, layers of clothes that you require. Have your medication ready to go. Matter of fact, when you're done finishing this, grab a Ziploc bag and put it in that Ziploc bag right there near your clothes. So you know, I am leaving, put it in my boogie up bag. Be prepared. Don't get caught out there. I do not believe as an acceptable number of casualties, but during this storm, uh, and I've heard it, even though they didn't put it in that term, some people have come to an acceptable amount of casualties. We do not want casualties. We want you to survive. We are survivors. We are veterans. We are soldiers. We are sailors. We are airmen. We are Marines. We can survive. So we look out for ourselves and we look out for our loved ones and we look out for our buddy. So at this point, this is all I have for you. Um, be prepared. Check in on your buddies. Check in on your loved ones. Let people know that you have an you have an emergency plan in case you have to leave, in case you have to shelter in place. Oh, I'm sorry. I almost forgot. We live in a modern age and we have cell phones. Now, again, if you happen to live, Radio Shack is not around anymore, but there is like where you could go physically, because now we're not doing mail orders anymore. We're talking about physical places to go visit. An external charger for your phones, for your laptops, for your electronic devices to use for communication. And this is vital for you to share with your loved ones and those that you will try to reach out to in an emergency situation. Make sure, one, your phone, your laptop, and anything else that leads to electronic that is life sustaining is completely charged. Spend today charging them up. Now, an external battery pack. If you don't have one, here in New York we have Micro Center. I believe, don't quote me, call ahead. You might be able to pick those things up as well in Home Depot and as well as Lowe's or hardware stores. Call them ahead of time before you make the trek out there to find out if they carry these things. Have a portable battery um, unit for these items. So you could charge them and you and your loved ones, and tell your loved ones this or your friends that they need to keep their things charged so you can have a line of communication. If anything, if you are out there alone, you could dial 911 or even call the Veterans Crisis Line in case you need assistance. This is preparation. The storm is no joke. If you're in the South, you really need to take heed to this because they're talking about an ice storm, which is worse. It's far worse than getting a whole bunch of snow dumped in. Excuse me. Because you're dealing with not only freezing weather, you're also dealing with no power if the lines get ice on it. Okay? So it's early in the day. Hopefully I have provided you with enough information and you come across this video early enough to go ahead and take care of the little nicks and necks. You got food, that's the first thing people go for. Make sure your water is up. Your water supply is ready. Drinking water and toilet water. Hate to put it that way, but it is what it is. Make sure you have that safe. Put that in your bathroom in case power goes out. So you are ready for that. So in case you don't have to evacuate your house has not become a toxic place. Okay, so we have water. We put together our boogie out bag. That backpack that you carry back and forth to work, if you need to, empty that baby out, fill it up with your needs, uh, a roll of paper towels if you need, or a roll of toilet paper if you need, and everything that you deem essential that you can't live without for at least a week. Have your medication in a Ziploc bag ready to go. If you have prescriptions that are outstanding at your pharmacy, today is the day to go pick them up. Today is the day. And just be prepared. Go ahead, be safe. Until next month, I will probably go back to my self-help. If you have comments, if I forgot anything and you're going through this, please leave it in the comments. You're looking out for not only yourself, you're looking out for your buddy and their own. Until next month on Buddy Check, I will see you. If you follow me or you subscribe to this channel, I will hopefully be able to do the weekly brunch. And I also I jump on Occult Rejects, their podcast on occasion. If that's your thing, go ahead, click on that, subscribe. They have a plethora of information and enlightening things. Till then, oh, and in your preparation, if you have children, snacks. Don't forget to pick up snacks and coloring books for them. Coloring books and games. If you don't have games, pick up games. It'll fill the time and kill the anxiety. Till next month, please be safe out there. Prep, be ready, check on your buddies, check on your family, and check on your friends. Till next time.